So if you want to fund terrorism, don't bother heading to a cave in Islamabad. Just start a government charity in Minnesota. It's perfect. You don't have to worry about drone strikes, and they look the other way if you marry your brother. Because according to new reports, a major funder of a Somali terrorist group are, in fact, Minnesota taxpayers. Another reason that we dodged a bullet with stage 4 jazz hands. I speak of the Somali food aid scam, one of the largest frauds in U.S. history. What started as a program to help immigrant families turned into a royal buffet for grifters. Hundreds of millions of dollars vanished into meal programs where the only thing being fed were the bank accounts of people wiring money back to Somalia. And according to investigators, some ended up in the hands of the terror group Al-Shabaab. So congrats, Minnesota. You're the first state to turn the Department of Human Services into a jihadi Kickstarter. Their new state motto should be the land of 10,000 fakes. Used to be lakes. Yeah. But now Trump said enough. He terminated deportation protections for Somali nationals living there effective immediately. Now Ilhan will have to find other relatives to marry. Obviously, of course, the media is screaming, and why not? When compassion is your religion, accountability becomes Satan. And a temporary program becomes more permanent than that tattoo I got of Merv Griffin. In California, it was the wildfire funding scam. In SF in LA, it was the homeless industrial complex. And in New York City, they spent 60 grand for each homeless person. That's because compassion without accountability becomes corruption, and corruption without oversight becomes catastrophe. It's the prison of two ideas. One cell is compassion, the other accountability. And like Kevin Spacey and the Teen Choice Awards, these two things must never meet. We love you, Kevin. If you dare ask, hey, where did the money go? Suddenly you hate the poor, the immigrants, the homeless, the planet, trans people. They'll say you're killing people because you defunded a program intended to feed people that now funds drag shows for the Taliban. It's no wonder they now prefer the goats. But accountability is the only way compassion survives. If you don't audit the programs, then corrupt schemers swoop in, and quickly the whole thing falls apart, just like my plans to spend Thanksgiving with Menudo. It's a sad modern truth. It's actually harder to get ahead in America the right way than it is to get rich scamming the government. Try starting a business. You'll drown in paperwork and regulations and permits, licenses, inspections, taxes, audits. But if you want to defraud the government, your profits will come so fast, it will outpace any way to track them. Stacey Abrams got a couple of billion for a green scam when the ink was still drying on her business cards. Look at BLM. People felt so morally heroic that they didn't even notice it became a revenue stream for their leaders' new mansions. But it's the perfect system to game. It's one where accountability is viewed as racist, which creates predators who use guilt like a crowbar, prying money out of governments and people. And the more moral you frame your appeal, the easier it is to rip them off. In Minneapolis, a program meant to help families became a pipeline for fraud. And in the end, terrorists treasure. All because nobody wanted to look mean by asking basic questions like, show us the receipts. The lesson? Compassion alone is childish, and accountability alone is cold. But put them together, it's a pretty good marriage. So from now on, we need to demand that if you want our love, you also get our oversight. Because without both, it's not just corrupt, it's suicidal. And once again, it's that guy that the Democrats hate who just pulled them off the ledge. Let's welcome tonight's guest. Whenever she says grace at Thanksgiving, the food gets cold. Co-host of Outnumbered Emily Campagno. When he called out their crap, CNN fired this chap, former Trump advisor Steve Cortez. Instead of roasting a turkey on Thanksgiving, she's going to talk it to death. New York Times bestselling author and Fox News contributor Kat Tiff. And on Thanksgiving, old ladies want him to do the stuffing. Former NWA World Champion and host of Planet Tyrus podcast, Tyrus. Emily, so this is no isolated incident. By the way, you look lovely in red.
Thank you.
Yes, and I mean that.
Thanks. What do you want?
Anyway, there are all of these multi-million-dollar fraud schemes all over the country, and there's one underlying problem. No one audits them. It seems like a simple enough solution. Why won't the Dems do it?
To your point, because look, I'm just out of the gate saying your annoying phrase that you hate. Because, as you stated earlier, for some reason, oversight and accountability means that you don't believe in the concept. And to me, the larger scandal, terrorists are going to terrorize. They're going to seek funding from everywhere. Any opportunity there is for fraud, someone fraudulent will be miring themselves in it. So the scandal is how long it went on. The scandal is that Minnesota, the land of Ilhan Omar and Tim Walz, indeed were not just a fraud program, they were global investors in this, and they can't get a refund, and there's going to be zero accountability. And I think the amount that they preach that everything is perfect, the amount that they find fault with President Trump's proffered programs that have worked, that are legal, that see immediate results for Americans, here they are compassionately supporting terrorists, and we're supposed to give them a forgiveness. And also, every time you say al-Shabaab, I think of the Cyndi Lauper song, like, bop, Shabab, bop. You know what I'm talking about?
She bop.
If you're, yes, I was going to say.
You bop, yeah.
Yes, Tyrus, you and me.
It'll be in my head forever now, thank you.
So good, so good.
Wow. Thank God I already checked out of this show. I joke. Steve Cortez, I love that jacket. Which strip club are you running security on tonight?
No, I share the same tailor as a Somalian warlord, and he recommended this to me.
What do Emily mentioned Ilhan Omar and Tim Walz. They haven't been implicated in any of this, but is their own kind of neglect enough to get rid of them? But they won't be going anywhere.
Right. Unfortunately not. And, look, this Grand Theft Mogadishu now seems like it's the worst thing to ever come out of Minnesota, which is saying something. Previously, I thought it was those two dude cheerleaders who cross-dress for the Minnesota Vikings.
Yes.
In your old profession. I thought they were the worst, and then Mondale and Tim Walz and all that. No, it's got to be this scam. And I'm concerned, honestly, that Captain Phillips, if you saw that movie, powerful film, Captain Phillips, the sequel, is going to be filmed on Lake Minnetonka at the rate we're going right now in Somalia. I mean, that's just the unfortunate reality. And, but speaking of movies, anybody who saw Black Hawk Down should have said, hey, importing hundreds of thousands of Somalians into the United States, probably not a great idea. And Somalia's GDP, to give you a statistic, their GDP, the entire output of the country, 1/3 of it comes from remittances. Think about that.
Which is Minnesota.
Yeah, and largely from Minnesota.
Yeah.
I mean, this country exists for this scam, right? So how about we just say, hey, we're done. We've had our fill of Somalians.
Yeah, Kat, it just shows you that the more government grows, the more corruption there is. Why is it that we always talk about corporate greed, but we never talk about government greed?
I like to talk about both, Greg.
Good for you. You're the real hero here, and thank you for your service.
Yes. And it drives me nuts when people will say that you are greedy if you complain about how much you pay in taxes. Like, oh, you don't care about people who are struggling. It's like, well, is the money helping these people? Because if that was obvious, then I wouldn't, of course I'd want to help. But like you said, New York City, 60,000 per homeless person. Can't help but notice that issue hasn't been solved.
Yes.
It's insane. And a lot of people, they don't want to follow up. And everybody knows that you can't just throw money at a problem to solve it. But people will throw other people's money at a problem. They don't care because it's not their money, and they can just take it, and then they can gaslight, like, oh, if you complain, then then you're a bad person. It's like a great grift. There's so much of government is a grift on just a large scale.
Yeah, so they won't, they don't care about accountability because it's not their money to be accounted for. If it was, this is...
But God forbid you pay the wrong amount, then you're
Exactly. This is why, and you know this, because I don't give any money to charity for this
No,
reason.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm the real hero.
That and you cannot stand orphans.
Yes. All right, Tyrus. These schemes thrive because if you call them out, you are somehow called phobic, racist.
Well, it's not the scheme, it's the culture. I mean, we got on Minnesota, but I mean, it's almost laughable at this point that we're shocked that there's corruption in our government. I mean, look at the aging out. Mitch McConnell, how's he doing?
Yeah.
But 125 million he's worth? How did that happen? Pelosi's the greatest stockbroker in the history. Like Wolf of Wall Street, kiss my ass. You ain't got nothing on her. Like they've been scamming us. It's culture.
Yeah.
There's because everybody gets a taste. The thing about virtue signaling is they're not doing it out the kindness of their heart. They're doing it so you can see them do it, which can make up for who they really are, which is usually a corrupt, greedy person.
Right.
Like I'm going to stand up for homeless people, but after all, I have to be able to afford these designer one-legged sweats. They're not easy to come by. And only my cousin Leroy makes them, and each one is about 120 grand. This is high-quality silk. You know how many moths died for these pants? So I could stand in front and say, hey, feed this hungry orphans while I have a giant turkey drumstick hanging out my mouth. I'll get you some later. That's really what this is about. It's just greed and and it's across the board. And everyone's like, ooh, Ilhan Omar and Somalia. Yeah, at least they're nice enough to outsource it. Because the Republicans are doing it right here. They're screwing our farmers over. The old school Democrats are screwing everyone else over. So, yeah, it gets noticed now. Why? Because the guy in the White House doesn't participate. And that's why this stuff comes out and we can talk about it. But unfortunately, President Trump is one man, and there is a whole synagogue of corrupt politicians that have been making billions off Americans' backs for centuries, and they're not going to stop. So even, we caught them. Yeah, we did it. You know what they're going to do? They'll refinance, they'll rename the paperwork, change some files, and give somebody else some money.
You know, the other thing that Trump changed, besides these kinds of important actions, right, like removing this protected status, which was never temporary, is he also, though, changed the vibe where we can now talk honestly about it. We don't have to pretend that things we know are true aren't happening because we'll seem racist. We're not afraid to say, hey, Somalia has a culture of grift, of scamming, right? It's brought it to the United States. It's brought a tribal aspect to the United States. It's really not helpful. We can say that now in Trump's second term, and I think very few people are afraid of being corrected on it.
I'm going to be honest with you. If you're stealing my money, that you are racist. I'll be racist. You're stealing my money. I'm a moneyist.
Yes, me too. I see no colors but green. Tyrus is wearing green.
Want even more Fox News on YouTube? Become a Fox News Patriot today. Click join to find out how.